nobody laughed because everyone's like, no, nobody laughed. Yeah, nobody laughed. But here's the one thing we did learn from Vic. I'm going to bring this up with Zander here in a second. Get this, folks. Quinyon Mitchell's going to travel. Cooper DeJean's going to play either in base in the corner, in the safety position, and in the slot. And you're going to see guys being used on the corners of the edge rushers in different roles. And you know what else you're going to see? Adoree Jackson. What was the date I picked? Let's see here. What was the date that I said Adoree Jackson would beat out Keely Ringo? Here it is. April, May, June. There it is. June 11th. Big SILZ. Adoree Jackson beats out Keely Ringo. Who won the day today, baby? Day 2, Leon. You better get the Viking up there in Oslo, Norway. I mean, you better start another one. This is day 2 now. That old Keely's having troubles, man. All right. Without further ado, and I got to give him credit, by the way, finding time for us too, man. I know that he's real busy and all. Yeah. Without further ado, my boy, by the way, he's working his ass off. Don't forget, right after the program, I'm assuming. Zander, is that right? We got a show right after this too, so we'll get you more of an update about what's going on and what happened over there at day 2 of the Eagles camp at NovaCare. So let's bring him up right now, our friend, Big Z.
What up, Big SILZ? What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I don't know how this chat's doing, but I'm doing pretty good.
I'll tell you this, man. Guy Leon wants me to hook him up with Joy, and he's sending me $1.99. I'm like, come on, dog.
Hey, listen, I got love for Leon, but I was getting a kick out of this chat, man. A pretty lady comes on the show, and it's like, have these guys ever been out of the house? I mean, oh my goodness. They must spend a lot of time at bars with dudes, SILZ, like you always say, man, because I don't know what the heck was going on in here. But pretty funny. By the way, great interview.
She's great.
In all seriousness, I thought she had really good takeaways on the Eagles.
Love Jalen.
Yeah, on the Cowboys as well. I thought she hit the nail on the head in a lot. It was a good interview. And as always, Big SILZ is a great interviewer. So well done by you.
How about this, man? She said that, if we can make it work a couple times a month, she'll do it for us. So we'll have her on during the season. And I'm sure she'll be on to big things too. And she'll be doing stuff with us with big things. So I'm looking forward to that.
The new stipulation will be, if you want your comment to hit the screen, you will have to surpass $1.99. If Joy to read your comment, it will be a minimum of a $5 super chat.
Absolutely, man. Come on, we're trying to impress her, guys. I mean, what do you take her really out for? If you're going to get her a bottle of something, you're going to buy her a bottle of Asti Spumante or Mad Dog 2020. Come on, Leon.
I saw some dude in here saying, guys, a used Nissan Altima is not going to cut it for Joy.
Oh, my God. Hey, man, so let's get into some of the comments that were made today, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, you got to update me. I didn't have a chance to really consume it all because I was not, I was at the dealership dealing with some stuff today, which I got everything done and dusted as I always do. So all good, but you have to give me some updates. I got the night show tonight, Birds 365 as well, Big SILZ.
You got it, man. So here were the players that won the day, according to people out there at the NovaCare Center. Mac McWilliams, Adoree Jackson, Moro Ajomo, and Jahad Campbell.
Yeah, Jahad.
Those 4 guys. And you know what they were saying? They want Keely Ringo to win the job. John said that numerous times as well. But the guy making the most noise right now is Adoree Jackson. Now, Zander, this could be just this. Adoree Jackson's got a shitload of reps in his career.
Yeah.
Is this a reps thing? Or that he'll get better But again, you've got 40 days until the start of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, do you really think? I mean, like Tupac would say, "All eyes on me here, man."
Yeah.
I mean,
Look,
here
you're
we
right.
are, right?
And the thing with the problem with the Ringo discussion is that simply Adoree, like you just said, knows how to play.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of reps. Like you just said. I mean, that's the problem. If you're battling versus another guy that is inexperienced, then I think Ringo wins that job because Ringo does have pretty good athleticism, pretty elite upside as a player. He's the right frame. He's got the the right size, the right speed, and everything. So the battle for him is going to be even if you're developing nicely. If week 1 rolls around and Adoree is more sound at that position, you already know what Vic Fangio is going to do. Vic's not waiting. He doesn't care about your contract. He doesn't give a shit about where you were drafted. Vic Fangio is going to put out the best players on the field. And I think
that was made clear today. That was made clear again today.
Exactly. So I think that's the issue with Ringo. But look, I'm not out on the guy at all. Did anything else come out today that he got burnt toast again or no?
No. It's got that. There's more buzz going around Adoree Jackson right now, and in state too. Now, again, would this be a fair comment? Don't you think he's under the most pressure of any player that's in camp right now?
I think there's some pressure to go around right now, actually. I mean, I think Tyler Steen's under some pressure. I think Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt are under some. I mean, look, hey, you're the two guys. That's it. It's you two. So I think those guys are under some pressure. I think Makuba's under pressure, but I do think it's a little bit lesser because he's a rookie. So he might, he's not even
latitude.
Yeah, he might not even realize yet the type of pressure he has. So Ringo is probably the top guy in terms of pressure, but I think there is a couple of other dudes up there. And look, I'm hopeful he wins the job, but I do think that caveat that I mentioned with Vic is a real thing. Like even if he's showing signs, but it's not there yet, they're going to default to Adoree Jackson. Again,
absolutely.
Vic and Howie are going to see this very differently. Howie's the GM who cares about the contracts and the draft positions and the future Vic wants to win the football game. If Adoree gives him the better chance to win, you better believe that he's probably going to put Adoree Jackson in there. So look, it's not a bad problem to have, but I did see someone tweet out today, AJ Brown's kind of taking Ringo to school a little bit, which is what he said he was going to do. Which is what he said. Yeah, it is good. It is good. But you wonder if eventually Vic just does kind of default to the guy that is more sound fundamentally.
Do you think there's a potential that they would go out of the building and look for somebody? Or do you think, or to what Vic said today, their objective, by the way, all super chats will be read at the end here. Zander, because today, one thing Vic said that I thought was interesting. Here it is. I wrote it down here. He said this, we want Cooper in base at safety, base in corner, but that's going to determine on the roster, which means the lesser guy probably is where Cooper's going to see more action, which what we said yesterday when we were throwing that at you. So he's going to plug and play him. He might get more reps at corner. He might get more in base at safety.
Yeah.
It's all going to be dictated when it comes to the roster. So here, get this, Zander, check it out. I mean, there's 3 new defining roles. Do you agree with this? I learned one thing about Q. Q's going to travel. Slay never traveled. He said,
they said he's going to at least be in a little bit more position to do it this year. They're playing him on the other side for that reason.
I remember what he said today at the press conference when asked, he goes, hey, what was it like playing on the other side? Which was a dope ass response. He goes, no, I don't really think there's any difference. I'm like, dude, there's so much different technique and foot.
I know.
Like this, fuck that. I didn't feel any. I'm like, that's a guy who's so gifted
that
it doesn't matter where you put him. So you're going to travel him. You're going to line this other guy up in a different role. And you're going to have Cooper potentially, like I said, at safety, at corner, and he's going to be in the nickel. You got a new defining role there for him. I mean, I think that's really great. I mean, when you hear that those two guys have been given more responsibility, I learned that from Vic today. How about Vic saying this, that we got a lot of job openings right now, and I can't tell you who's going to be the winner at those positions.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, you certainly do. We all expected this. And I will remind everybody how quickly it can change, especially at this time of the year. You know, when the season gets going, things start to settle in. You know, you start to see, okay, this is who's going to play here. This is probably who's going to be here. You know, this guy's not going to get as much playing time as we thought. Remember training camp last year? All right, you had
same thing.
Devin White was going to be a lot. Like you had so many different things last year in camp where you would have never expected the season to unfold the way it did. So don't lock yourself into anybody right now. Allow the open book to kind of be read and move along. And I think it's a good. I think there is some element of it that's good. You know, I think Vic sounded a little more confident than I expected him to. Not in the sense that he knew where everyone was going to be, but from a sense that he felt like he had enough guys in every spot.
Like he figured it out. He's kind of
a little bit. Just that, okay, even if I have Cooper here and this guy here, I feel good about who could be there. You know, I feel like Vic sounded pretty good about it. Now, I didn't hear the player press conferences yet, so we're gonna
get to those in a second here, but I'm gonna do two things, the good and the bad here. I'm gonna do the good first. Jahad Campbell on the field, and he goes like this. You know, he looked good. It's helmets and shorts, so you got to be careful here when we're talking. However, he knew where to line up, and plus something else that we brought up. Remember, we said this. Maybe you put Campbell and Bond out there at the perimeter, at the edge, in a rotation kind of situation, and you played Trotter and another linebacker inside here because he said, we're working him a little bit out there. He doesn't want to show his hand too much to people on what you guys are doing there. But, I mean, that was great news having Campbell on the field and those guys being part of the process and trying to figure out the Rubik's Cube, right?
100%. I don't think anybody expected Campbell to be on the field this quick. And I think he's got a chance to be ready week one. I mean, this guy's practicing right now.
Yeah, no, I got
it. You know, originally we thought he might be ready for week one.
Did you hear what Vic said? Vic said this. And according to Senor, because Senor's an asshole, I'll tell you flat out, Vic even said this. I love that my trainers kind of like, you know, they kind of like under-promised and over-delivered because I was told he wasn't going to be ready, and there he is. So that was a good thing. I agree with you. He might be.
Yeah, I mean, remember, though, we thought that he might be back for the year, but we were thinking if he misses training camp, remember what Vic did with Cooper last year. Cooper was healthy in week 2 or whatever it was, but he didn't get any camp. So Vic kind of stashed him away a little bit. Like, I thought that's what was going to happen with Campbell. Now you're telling me he's out there day one of camp?
Yep.
I mean, I feel like this guy's going to show so quickly to Vic, like, you're not going to want him off the field. You know, it's one thing for a guy to not be ready. It's a whole nother beast to have a guy sitting there and he's as good as Jahad Campbell is. And you're like, well, wait a second. I got to get this guy on the field. You know, I have a feeling he could be ready for week one. Now, I'm just speculating. I don't have any information or anything, but I do think that he's going to be really good when he is ready to go. And because of that, Vic's going to have to make probably a tough decision somewhere to get him on the field.
You know what, though, dude? I think the bad news was, in my opinion, I did not feel that he felt comfortable that Nakobe's going to be back for a while.
I agree. Like you could see his face. He was like, I don't know when that'll be.
Yeah.
He said, not week one.
Boy, I don't know, man. It seemed like that guy might start the season out on the PUP list.
Yeah, I think so.
Where he misses the first 4. Okay, I mean,
it's unfortunate because Nakobe could be. You could start to see the writing on the wall for Nakobe, and I don't think any of it's his own fault. You know, obviously
it's just the way his body's made.
Well, I mean, even though last year was a little bit more of not a freak injury, but a different style of injury, and he was playing so good, man. He was playing so good. So I kind of feel bad for him, but look, that's the nature of the beast, man. But staying healthy is a part of this game and a part of this sport and a part of this profession. So he might get the old-fashioned Wally Pip right now where somebody, you know, if Campbell's ready to go.
I'm not pulling a first-rounder out.
That's what I mean. And I think Campbell's going to be good enough to not take off the field. So that's going to be your issue with Nakobe Dean. How the hell do you get him on the field even once he gets healthy if you got a guy that can be out there? Now, maybe they don't like Campbell or Bond at the mic, and that could be Nakobe Dean's saving grace in a way where they want him out there for the mic, but it will be interesting to see how that one plays out. I agree, though. That was the one spot Vic was – he wavered. Yeah.
He really was not. When he went like this, no, I don't know. I don't know when he's coming back here. So let me get some player comments here. Boy, they really all have this mentality. 2024 no longer exists. It's in the rearview mirror, and that's a different team. It was great to see those guys, but these guys are not looking at last year whatsoever. And I got to tell you, man, Landon said something that I want to throw in that, I kind of approached it a couple months ago, and you've been kind of talking about it as well. He said this: Jalen's been given more responsibility. Do you think that Jason Kelce, somebody used better words for it earlier today when I brought it up, you think Jason Kelce stunted, delayed, prohibited? What would be a word you would use on Jalen's progression as a quarterback? Look, he's won, but I'm talking about playing the position.
Yes.
Quarterback, not winning. Do you think delayed?
I think delayed. I don't want to say stunted.
It's not a blame, Zander. I'm not looking to blame anybody.
Well, no, but that's why I chose the word I chose, right? Like I think you could say stunted, but I don't want to say that as a knock on Kelce, because I think Kelce was really just doing what he was asked to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the All-Pro center. He was the Hall of Fame guy. He's been here longer. He's got the experience. And, I think if I said stunted, it would show at least some level of, negativity toward Kelce. And I don't think that's what it is. I think it's more that was the circumstance and it slowed Jalen down. So delayed, I think, is the right word. Now,
it was unintentional though, too, right? It was not intentional.
Well, I don't know. Maybe, I think maybe in hindsight, I would have maybe liked to see Hurts grab that bull by the horns a little bit more and say to Kelce, yo, I want to learn this. I got to do, I want to have, now we can have a communication system, but I got to be able as a quarterback to get to the line of scrimmage and look around and see what I see. Now, we might not always agree, but we got to have some form of communication, because I got to start developing that level of that part of my game. I don't know if that happened. Maybe that did happen a little bit, and that's why Jalen was able to take improving it so quickly last year. But I think delayed is probably the right term for it.
I'm going to throw something at you here. You may completely disagree with this. But, okay, so what you just said, and Jalen Hurts, when he was at the mic the other day, said this. Yeah, the coaches are asking more of my input. They're asking more of my input on the approach, how we're going to attack this year, and also on the game plan of how we're going to prepare.
Right.
And they're pulling it out of me, and I like it. And after what we just said, you think Jalen Hurts has been he's such a coach's kid that he goes with what the coaches are telling him, that he's not been proactive enough for him to grab the bull by the horns, because it's the second reference now in 3 days that's been made to that, where he said it himself. They're pulling it out of me, and I'm welcoming it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I view that entirely as a negative. I think obviously
not a negative. I'm talking about growth as a player, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe there's something to be said about your point about him being a coach's kid and just being so used to being given the blueprint for how to do it. And I think Kelce actually added to that too. Because look, for example, though.
But isn't that an evolution also that quarterbacks go through?
It is. But the reason it's delayed is because most other quarterbacks would have come to the realization that Jalen has come to a lot quicker. Like, you're telling me Cam Ward's going to start in wherever, or Tennessee, right? Cam Ward's going to get to the line of scrimmage. There's no fucking Hall of Fame center or organization telling him, hey, this is how you got to do it. He's got to be responsible. Hey, young man, this is a part of you learning.
Yes.
So in a way, I will say this, though. There is maybe a positive to it, because it allowed Jalen to develop his on-the-field skill set.
Yes.
Which he has obviously developed very much. And then once that was a little bit more established with roots in the ground, okay, now I can add this to my repertoire. Versus most quarterbacks who come in, even another good example would be a guy like Caleb Williams or Drake May, or take any of these young guys that come in. They got to hone their skills. They got to hone their on-field play. They got to hone their leadership. They got to hone the line of scrimmage. They got to hone all that at once. So Jalen, in a way, there is some advantage to it in that regard, where I think he was able to develop the other things without having to worry as much about that. And now that he's taken that on, he was almost more prepared to learn it quickly and learn it the right way because of he didn't have to worry about too much other shit.
Remember, when you're at Alabama, bro, you're not going off that game plan. Nick Saban's such a dominant guy. You're fucking going with the game plan of Bill O'Brien, those coaches.
And same with Oklahoma, by the way, with Lincoln
That's
Riley.
right. You're not coming out of the room with Lincoln Riley and going, I'm going to play here and do this. So the way he was coached, and maybe now, like they said, we're doing more of that. And again, I think it's an evolution of a player. I don't think it's a negative, Zander. I think it's growing into a role.
Yeah. I actually like the way I just viewed it with maybe that gave Hurts a little bit more time to worry about, the skill set early.
Yeah.
Becoming a quarterback early. You know what I mean? Because I remember that was the common knock on Hurts early in his career was how good can he throw the ball? Can he manage a passing offense? Is he accurate? Can he get the ball out in time? Can he throw the ball in the tight windows? Can he read defenses? All those different things. And I think he was able to take a lot of steps forward in all of those areas. And then once he was asked to do what he was last year, and now that he's really stepped into it, I mean, like you said, you heard him at the presser. They're pulling on me more. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good progression for him, a good timeline of development for him as the quarterback.
I'll tell you something else I heard that I loved. So during the whole process of Dallas Goedert getting asked to take a pay cut, Hurts is on the horn with him, telling him how much they needed him, how much I wanted him. I know that this may not be the best situation and how it's being played out for you, but as a team, really, do you think $1.5 million going to Tennessee is going to really help your career instead of staying here and maybe proving people wrong? I mean, I think there was some talking into it because you know what? Most players would have just been butthurt.
I think there was talking into it to the organization too. Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying
Goddard said today that Jalen was calling him every other day.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if Jalen Hurts hung up the phone with Goddard and got on the phone with Howie Roseman and said, yo, dude, I know you're managing.
No, I think he wanted him.
Listen to what I'm saying. I think he called Howie and said, yo, dude, how much money are we trying to save here? Because I want this player.
Okay. All right.
And
so that maybe he was playing middleman. So you think he was playing middleman?
Well, I think he probably made it very known to the organization of, yo, we're trying to go back and repeat a Super Bowl. We're going to save what? A couple $1 million to move on from Goddard? Is that really worth it, Howie? This guy's an integral part to our offense, especially with the steps forward that we want to take next year. I'm speculating. I have no idea. But based on what Goddard said, I don't think Jalen was calling Goddard and then not talking to the organization. I mean, remember, Jalen Hurts is the highest paid Philadelphia Eagle. That goes for coaches. That goes for general manager. The only person in that wears Eagle green that makes more money than Jalen Hurts is Jeffrey Lurie. That's it.
The only reason why I think that this is significant is because one of the things I've been critical of him on is I've never heard him step up for his players in public.
Well, I think he does that a lot behind the scenes.
Oh, that's what I'm saying here. Is right here. I believe what you're saying, that he was sticking up for his players and his player behind the scene, because he may have been a pseudo negotiating going, like you just said, are we really going to save just $3 million? Because what was it? It was some sort of really.
Remember, they were going to have dead cap tied to it. They were going to have a bunch of stuff tied to it. Like, it wouldn't have been a move on from Goddard and you say
it wasn't a gaslight contract.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't crazy at all. In fact, I thought the thing that held it up was that Goddard probably wanted more years, because of his age
and a bonus.
Yeah. So I don't know. Look, I'm happy Goddard's back. I think it's.
But I'm happy Jalen was part of that process.
And look, those are some of the things with Jalen that are always going to be harder to see than with other people.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
He is a naturally reserved dude.
Yeah.
Much more. We talked about this. I mean, I think yesterday or before.
Yeah.
But, I think that's natural with him. So some of those things you might not see as open or out front, and it would take a player like Goddard saying that, to realize that Jalen was involved in that process. But I think a good baseline of thinking for most Eagles fans would be Jalen probably does have his pulse on most things. He also, as much as subdued as Jalen is, he also strikes me as the kind of guy that doesn't want to be in control of everything, but wants to be in the know. Like, I care about my team and the success of this team so much that I expect you at the very least understand the plan. All right, you're going to move on from Goddard. Okay, what's our plan? Like, I bet you Jalen is that type of dude who asks those type of questions, and I think that's a good thing. I'll
tell you what, he could be a bigger asshole right now after winning that MVP and asking for more money. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of players do, and he's not done that publicly.
How about that story from his agent? Did you hear that story earlier in the summer?
I did, and this is part of that. This is part of that stuff. So let me get to Jordan Davis now on what he said. I'm not going to lie to you. I liked it. And I liked what he said, and I'll tell you why I'm buying a little bit of it.
Buying from who?
Jordan Davis.
Okay.
Here's why I'm buying what he said, and I'll get into what he said here. Because of his conditioning and how he looks coming into camp. And here's what he said. My role is bigger. They've asked for my role to be bigger. They asked him about losing weight. He says he has more energy, he has more focus, and he notices it in practice that he's got more energy to be able to stay on the field. He wants pass rushing reps. He's lost 26 pounds. Here's the other stuff. He went from 330, he's now 330. He's put the work in, and he goes, I do not want to be a run stopper. Not that there's anything wrong with that. He says that's cool. However, I've got to be a 3-down football player. And to me, my number one job is to be a 3-down guy. I would usually call bullshit on this, that you've not done any of this in your time since you've been here. However, the conditioning part of him coming in shape makes me pause and go, okay, well, he's done something here that he hasn't done before. And that is that, one, they've told him they want to roll for him. And I personally think that Jalen Carter is pushing him because you know what I would not want? That guy's getting so many roses. And, hey, I'm a fucking good player too. I want to be that too. Yeah. I think you got good competition like you got Mulata and Lane. Great internal competition creates a great roster. This kid, I think here, and by the way, I love his attitude. I love how he smiles. I love the whole thing. And I'll give it to him here.
He's a good kid. You can tell he's a good kid.
He's a good kid, right. And you know what? You root for that.
Yeah, 100%.
And so
did you get the sense from some of those comments that they didn't just come from him either?
Oh, I think people have had come to Jesus conversations with him about where you want to be in your career.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They don't just come from him. I think the organization said,
to me, it sounds like Clint Hurts talking.
Yeah. I think maybe even bigger. I think, see, again, I'm going to speculate here. I think Howie's the type of GM with a player like that where he says, now, Jordan, we're not going to give you the deal yet on top of your 5th-year option.
You think they were that bold?
Wait, but I think he says to him, you do this, you get to this level, you show me this, I promise you a bag of money's waiting for you on the other side. But you got to earn it. You got to earn it. And I again, I'm speculating. I don't know if they actually said that to him, but when he spoke like that, because I heard it too, and when he said the things that he said about, I understand now that my role is bigger than others. That to me was somebody got to him and said, yo, dude, we don't just want you to be a run stopper. We want you to be the leader of the defensive line. We want you to be the guy on the defensive line next to Jalen Carter.
Okay.
In order to do that, you got to take your conditioning seriously. You got to take your job seriously. You got to be the best leader you can be. You got to be the first one in, last one to leave. Like, all of those things come with that territory. Okay. And I think that maybe those conversations were had, and I give Jordan Davis a lot of credit for.
You've got to be very careful on who's carrying that message, though, because what you don't want to do is circumvent people that are going to be coaching the kid and who's going to be paying. Now, what you're suggesting is that Howie Roseman has individual conversations with players over the coaches and potentially even their agents that say this, hey, listen, You think that an agent has this kind of conversation with a Jordan Davis? Hey, look, son, I want to pay you. I want you to be here. I want you to be part of the future of this team. But right now, I don't feel comfortable really making a huge investment in you right now. Or do you think I find that hard to believe that conversation, but
maybe not.
But wait a minute. You could say it this way. Hey, you have put us in a position where we're here. We want to be here with you. Now, who makes that convo? Is it Nick? Is that Nick? Is that Clint? Or is that Vic? Because you know what it sounded like to me with those comments? That sounded like Vic talking to him.
Yeah.
Because one thing I heard again today from Vic, whoever fucking plays is going to play. Whatever that looks like, I don't know what it looks like yet. Like he didn't hear it.
It might be. I think it could be all the above, man.
You think they will? Okay, everyone had input in it.
I think his dad, his mom could have called him and said, dude, let's fucking go. You got an opportunity that people dream of being afforded. You know, I give a lot of credit to Jordan. I know. Obviously, look, I understand where you're coming from when you're like, I'm not going to.
No, I liked it today. I liked it though, Zander.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think we get lost in the, it's what he's paid to do and forget the human element that a lot of fucking dudes don't do it, man. That's just a reality. A lot of players who make it to the NFL don't reach their potential. All right? That is more common in the NFL though than the opposite, where guys get in and they just don't make it because they just weren't good enough. That's far more rare than a guy having all the potential in the world and doesn't have as long of a career as he should have, or doesn't get paid the money he should have gotten, or doesn't get as many snaps as he should have because he didn't want to do the work. Jordan did the work. I do think I'm going to give him a little credit for that, although I do understand your point as well.
Hold on. Let me tell you where I'm coming from. What you just said.
Yeah.
I didn't reach my potential because I did stupid shit and I didn't do the right things. Had nothing to do with ability, dude. You know what? My wife and I were standing in a fucking in a grocery store. Butch Davis looked over at me and went like this. You talked yourself off the fucking Dallas Cowboys because of your fat fucking mouth. And because my wife, she was my girlfriend then, looked at me and goes, really? That's pathetic. And I sat there. And so maybe how I look at Jordan is, son, don't blow something that's in front of you that you have such a great opportunity at doing way more things in your life that you want as an individual talent. That sometimes when I see a player like that, you know what I'm saying, Zander?
Yeah,
that, you know what? It bugs me when people don't fulfill destinies.
SILZ, I think that's partly the reason you're wired the way you are, with especially when you talk about this game. And I think that's a good thing.
It's a lost opportunity I had. I look every day in the mirror and go I fucked it up.
Yeah, but I'm not here to sit here and bash you for what you did or did not do. Remember, there were also things that happened in your life that were out of your control. You had different things happen. I mean, my point wasn't. Now, I do understand where you're coming from, and I do think that's why some of this shit hits home for you, where you have a guy that you see more potential in, and when they don't realize it and they don't go for it, it brings you back to the nightmare that you lived and the things that you think about every day as your career has come and gone, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Don't do it. I promise you, you'll be my age and you'll regret it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a good thing. I mean, I think that's strong introspection by you as a person. I mean, look, here's the reality of life. Not everybody gets to where they want to get to in life. Not everybody achieves the goals they want to achieve in life. Like, that's part of it. That's the ebbs and flows of life.
It's the journey.
Right. If you learn from it and you are capable of looking at where you went wrong, and this goes for anybody, and you can address that and improve upon that and use it to teach somebody else, then I think you're doing a good thing, and you're doing what God called you to do, because at the end of the day, we're not all supposed to be as blessed as we are. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody hits the home run. Not everybody gets, everything they think they should get in the world. And that's a brutal part of life. So that's not just football. That's a brutal part of life, my friend. Believe me, I started this company 5 years ago. We started building. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a fucking I'll be cooking in a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like everybody has it in some way or another. So I get it. And I think it's partly what makes you a great broadcaster, because you give your everything to this, you know,
absolutely.
you do. And I think a lot of people who listen to you and just hear that you shit on the Eagles, they don't want to recognize that. But there is a reason I love your show, and I love the way you do your show. And I think that's a big part of it.
I'll tell you one reason why I don't take days off and I don't take shows off. You know what it is? I let myself take my career off,
Right.
and I never want to have something I love ever to slip through my fingers again. And so to me, that's why it's always hard when, you know, situations in my past have on, and not to go down that lane, but when because it's more about Jordan, and I'm like, that's what I see with him, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I
well,
agree.
I think that's complete. I think that makes a lot of sense what you're saying, though. I don't think you're going down a bad lane at all. I think it's real human shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and my dad, again, I always say this quote. My dad used to say this to me when I was a kid. And when I was younger, I didn't quite understand it because I was a fan. I just wanted the team to win. And I didn't give a shit about the athletes who were making all this money. And in my eyes, I was like, you make $50 million. What are you crying about? Like, that's not what life is. Athletes are people who play games for a living. The people are important. The games are not.
That's right.
You know? They're real fucking people on the other side, regardless of how much money's in their bank account. They got shit in life, right?
Yeah.
They have things going on, and I think it all matters. I think it's all real good conversation to talk about, because it is the other elements that go into a player. You know, a lot of times we as fans, and I'm guilty of this sometimes too, is just, you know, their numbers on a board, or their players on your team, or their guys on Madden, and they're interchangeable, and they're, you know, if you're on the field, you should be doing that. Like, there's no element to understanding the deeper complexities that come with the human beings that are playing the game. You know, and I think your story sheds light on that.
When you hear other people on the air and other radio stations like IPNM, and I hear people talking, and I'm like this, you're taking the human element and completely not adding that to what makes people tick. You know what? I'll tell you what you did too with Jordan. You made me realize again one thing about the human aspect of it with him. There's a human element here. Not every guy's wired like that. Not every guy's. Some guys have to be kicked in the ass. Some guys don't have to be kicked in the ass. Some guys have to be hit with a hammer. Some guys have to be hit with a feather. And I always have to remember that. Because, again, not everybody's motivated with the same motivations that push people forward to greatness. And to me, when you have a chance and you have greatness and you can touch the holy grail of greatness, that to me, I don't want you to miss the opportunity that I did. It's there for you. It's within reach. And I see so much. And again, I like the kid today, and I bought it because you know why? The first time I went, he did something that showed me had nothing to do with football. It had nothing to do with talent. He got in shape. Kid, you got me. You got a shot for me now. Good job. Right. I'm ready to roll with him.
Yep. Now take the next step. Now keep going. Take the next step. Right.
That's right.
It is a process. It's one journey at a time, brother. No doubt.
Okay. One last guy here. Then we'll do the supers. This Quinyon Mitchell, man, I would use a word for him. The word would be boring. Okay?
That's a good thing, man. That's a fucking good thing.
He is just like, they ask him questions or one-word answers. Not a very good interview.
He's just a low-key dude, man. He's just a low-key dude, yeah.
Hey, what do you think about going on the other side? No big deal. I don't care. And the guy goes, all right. And then what I loved and what I took away, because you know me, man, I'm one of these guys. I see a tea leaf, and I turn this thing into a giant pedestal, whatever it is. I go, so they were asked a question about Cooper. He goes, hey, about Cooper moving around this and that. He goes, yeah, he's doing a good job. Then he moved on like that. And I started thinking this, these two guys must be having a nice little competition with one another. And I like it because, again, there it is. You're getting, the Great White Hope. There he is over there. We're over on Wildwood. Everyone loves him. Everyone's kissing his ass. He's doing this. And there's Q over there going, wait a minute. I was one of the top corners in the NFL last year. I'm one of the most talented people on your football team. Okay? have you ever seen a Ricky come in and do the shit I did? That'd be a no. So I'm kind of liking this, man.
I like you, man. I like you. I like dudes like that too, man. He's got, he shows, some people are just like, yeah, I just want to play ball and then go the fuck home. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
He didn't want to be there.
I don't want fame. I don't want followers. Like, all I want to do is go play ball, get paid, and go home. Like that's
none of that.
Yeah, he strikes me as just a low-key dude who and that's what he wants. But the one thing I love about that is he takes his job very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
One thing to do that and
he's a serious dude.
Yeah, not really give a shit about the performance that you put out or the product that you're doing or whatever. You're just kind of doing it as a paycheck. I think he actually does
He's a hardcore guy.
Yeah, he's real hardcore, which is dope. I love that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
But absolutely. All right, let's get to these supers, my friend.
Yeah, I got the 6 p.m. show coming up.
Don't forget, guys, Birds 365, those guys. Again, Zander, great stuff this morning with some content. I watched it again. And then also, too, you're going to get Birds 365 here right after the program. So make sure you stay tuned to that. So
yeah, good stuff.
Some of these supers, brother, and I'll let you out of here.
Good stuff. Jason, what's up, man? We got a lot of supers today. Thank you all for the great people of JAKIB Nation. You guys upset me a little bit when Joy Taylor hits the screen and like everybody's like, holy shit. I mean, you guys didn't know what to do. I mean, oh my goodness. I hope nobody in your families was reading those comments or anything.
Holy cow, man. Like they've never seen a they've never seen a chick before.
Knuckleheads.
Like they've never seen a chick before. I was like, what's going on?
18 checks in. He says, this is the best show on earth, and I got a lot of good ones I watch. Kicking it with the realest dudes in my life. I love my JAKIB fam and can't wait for this season. Belt to ass. Thank you for JAKIB for bringing it, fam. Jason, I love you, brother. That's a cool comment, bro. I really appreciate you. And I think I take pride in that part of our business, and I think you do too, or that part of our channel. A lot of people it's one thing to just entertain or just talk sports or just talk X's and O's. I think you get a little bit of all of it here, and I'm proud of that. 18, thank you for recognizing that, brother. I appreciate you, man. Abe says, Jalen Hurts' gift to Merrill was dope to see. Boy, that was dope.
Dude.
That was dope,
I was touched.
Talk about a special dude. I think that Jalen Hurts is a special kid, man. I think he's
that touched me, dude.
My favorite thing about Hurts is SILZ, and I said this when they won the Super Bowl, but even more, the more things happen, the more he proves it. He is who he says he is.
Genuine.
He is the motherfucker that he said. We all laugh, all the T-shirt slogans and the quotes and this and that. And, he actually is it, though. Like, he actually walks the walk. And I love that about him. That was a great gift, Dave. That was a really cool moment.
And I love that Merrill shared it with us too.
Yeah, it was really cool. By the way, I'm producing, and sometimes you guys got to understand, I'm producing Sileo's show, and he drives me nuts because I'm just like, like Merrill's like sitting there. He clearly didn't want to go get the shoes, and Sileo's like, yo, can you get the shoes? Can you get the shoes? I'm like, yeah, let Merrill pay. But look, this is what I know, though. SILZ knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
I got the shoes.
I know. You got the bite. That's right. JD says, set me up with Sydney Sweeney. Here's $2.
Oh, my God, man. $2.
$2. Here we go. T-Bone. What up, T?
T-Bone. Thank you, T-Bone.
He says, hello to my two favorite bookends, Big SILZ and Big Z. I'm back. Well, kind of, sort of. Still way too early for me to get excited. Once the final cuts occur, then I'm all in. Then we will know. Peace. That's a guy. Brother. That's a guy that's watched a lot of football in his life, isn't it?
Absolutely, man.
That's a guy that's watched some
T-Bone,
football.
thank you, brother. We appreciate it.
T-Bone, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. B Pump checking in. Dolores Jackson not beating Keely Ringo. Y'all smoking a Pez dispenser.
Come on, Pump. I know Keely's your boy. Hey, man. I don't know. 2 days in a row now, man.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Me too, man.
I'm wondering. Josh Bay, what up, Josh? He says, last year the cornerback battle was rotated every day for the first month between Isaiah and Ringo, then Q1 at LOL. Don't be surprised if different. It's good.
No,
there you go.
I think it goes down that lane, Josh.
Yeah, that's true. Josh Bay, good comment, man. I appreciate it.
Brother.
Bearded Willie, what up, Bearded? He says, Xander's that tough act to follow, looks wise. I guess you're talking about Joy Taylor. That's all right. I don't think it's personal. Angry Dog says, Joy didn't shred Sills' Jalen narrative. Sills just needs a software update. I'm sure Big Z can load some new firmware in that big empty dome.
That's actually pretty good. That's actually well written. I'm gonna
let's give one more. Wait, is Leon still in here?
That's a winner, right?
We gotta pull this up one more time. Leon, Leon's got a couple extra bucks laying on his desk. He said, "I'm shooting my shot at the great Joy Taylor today. Joy, I love you. You're so pretty." And he tosses it up on the screen. Leon, you thought I was bashing you. I actually wasn't. I respected it, Leon. I love you, brother. I appreciate it.
Hold on. $2.
$2.
$2.
That doesn't even cover the 5 minutes a day that Sills is late every day. Are you fucking kidding me? East Coast Rico says, out of the 7 new coaches, who set up the win now? You talking about the new coaches in the league?
I'm going to say Ben Johnson.
That's what I was going to say.
I think it's Ben Johnson, man. You know?
That's who I was going to say.
I think Aaron Glenn's got a tough putt this year. You know who the backup quarterback is?
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. I don't know. Aaron Glenn, he was a really good DC. I'm curious to see how he works as a coach.
With the Jets, right.
B. Preston checking in. What up, B. Preston? By the way, I got a question for you. I thought you were like Brian Preston. I think you're a girl. I'm not sure. I've been calling you bro. So if not, you just let me know. All right. Sometimes it's hard. I read a lot of usernames a day. She says, or he says, I'm not sure what. I met Q at a gas station. I'm all hyped up. I'm like, yo, you're Q. He goes, no, that's not me. I was like, huh? Mind you, he has Eagle sweatpants on. I'm like, bro. He eventually gave in, laughed, and gave me a pick. That's funny as shit. He's that low key. He don't want to be known at all.
No, man. He
I'm
don't
not
want
Q. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not cute. Yo, come on, man. You're cute.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a good
man.
super chat there, too. All right, I think we got them all. I got to run because I got this night show coming up.
All right, man. All right, Big Z. Guys are killing it, man, as always, man. Just keep up the great work and keep killing it, man. You turn into a great broadcaster. Keep it up, brother. I'll see you in the morning. Thank you, bro.
Sills, that's in large part due to you. So thank you, brother. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for all the great support you guys give us each and every single day. It's going to be a fun football season, Sills. It's going to be a fun football season.
Can't wait. I cannot wait.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks, Big Z. Don't forget, Birds 365 right after the program here. All right, let's take a time out here. I have only taken one, so let's do one here. Hey, folks, and then we'll run it all the way up until the top of the hour when we go right into Birds 365. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. With over $30 billion recovered for families across America. And the reason that is because the thousands of attorneys go to battle for you. That's right. They go to battle for you. And every time they see that logo of Morgan & Morgan, you can guarantee this. They are going to win and put the best effort they can in to making sure your family's protected. If you're ever injured, whether it's in an Uber, if an insurance company ends up not giving you your right restitution when it comes to your insurance policy, this is what these folks do, and they've done it for over 25 years. The easiest decision you will ever make is by hiring Morgan & Morgan. I'm promising you, folks, this isn't just a line. This is what these people live by. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/BigSills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/BigSills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got